I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact focused on personal growth, my Knowledge Workbook series and Creative Healing course can help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about what your ex doesn't want you to know.
Oh, we're spilling the beans today.
Believe it or not, there is a lot going on with your ex in many situations, and they are going to keep a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today to themselves. Why is that?
They've got a lot of things that they just hold close to their chest. They don't want you to know. We're going to go through it. There's different reasons as to why they hold different things close to them.
So one of the big things that would surprise you, especially when they're being cold, is that they are struggling with the breakup too. Believe me, very rarely do they show you how much they are hurting. Sometimes you'll get glimpses and you'll hear things here and there, but a lot of the times that pain and hurt that they're feeling, they're experiencing it on their own.
Exactly. They're struggling with the breakup too. And sometimes we don't feel like it when we're going through it because we're feeling so intensely in our pain, and we might not be hearing from them. They might be really cold towards the end of the breakup. And so we don't really believe that they can have their own emotional process too behind the scenes that we don't know about. Now, they also might be hiding their feelings of guilt about the breakup from you. They might be feeling really sad about the fact that they know they're breaking your heart, and they might not be sharing that with you because they don't want it used against them.
That's true.
We know that sometimes when we're going through a breakup, we get so desperate that we will use anything to get our ex back, including guilt.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll even amplify just how difficult the breakup is for us so that our ex will have pity, because we would rather have pity than to lose them.
Yes.
Right? And so that might be something that they choose not to share with you, but might be going on internally within them.
And yeah, so you got to understand that that's a huge reason they don't want to be vulnerable with you. Because many of you were begging, pleading, trying to manipulate, grand gestures, handwritten letters, doing all the things that makes them want to shut down. Okay? They need to feel autonomy. They need to feel like they are making this decision and you aren't trying to stop them. When you try to stop them or you make them feel that way, they are going to get more guarded. They are going to look more stubborn. Right? Everybody's like, nobody's more stubborn than my ex. Well, believe me, there are a lot of exes out there that are probably more stubborn than yours, if you can imagine it.
Right.
So they're not going to be vulnerable because they don't want to be manipulated. They don't want to be tricked or trapped into getting back with you. And you don't want them to do it for those reasons. Believe me, if you think you're going to keep somebody because you're tricking them or trapping them, you're in for a sad, lonely life because they are only there out of pity or guilt. That's not why you want somebody back.
You don't want that.
That is not a healthy place to be. Trust me.
Yeah. So another thing that they will be keeping from you is that they feel lost too. We often talk about how part of the grief and the breakup is the loss of the dreams and plans and goals, aspirations the two of you shared together. They also experience that too. They might have had plans with you that they were also set on in their mind until they decided this breakup, and they might be venturing out into new territory too, right? So they might be figuring things out, what's next for them, where they're going to live, where they're, going to end up working or going to school or whatever else is next for them. So there can be this sense of a lost, feeling lost. And it might be a completely different experience for them. For them, it might feel like new territory in a scary but exhilarating way, right? And for you, it might be very filled with grief because there was so much emotional investment into those plans.
Absolutely. Now, here's a big one. They are stalking you too, okay? I know it feels like they don't care, but believe me, People find a way to stalk social media. There are all kinds of websites that you can do things privately. People have friends and family do it. Believe me, they think of things, especially when they don't want you to know that they're watching. But they are wondering about you. They're wondering what you're doing. And, sometimes they may disappear for a couple months. But I just had a guy last week. Ex had completely disappeared. Not a sign. Then all of a sudden she watches a story when she doesn't even follow him. And I told him, she wants you to know. Because if she wanted to, she could have easily done it from one of those websites because he doesn't have a private profile. So she wanted him to know I'm watching that story.
Exes get curious too. I know during the breakup you can feel like, man, they don't care. They're not thinking about me. I'm not even a thought that crosses their mind. But they do get curious too. And they might be stalking to see what you're up to, how you've been since the breakup, how you're handling it, watching from afar.
Yeah, maybe they'll kind of want to see if you're growing.
Right.
Right?
That too. Now, another thing that they might not share with you is details that are happening about their life. They don't want you to know everything about their life. Many breakups happen because that person wants to feel independent. They want to feel like they have something to themselves, something that they can call their own. And so maybe they don't want to share every detail of every moment with you so that they have that feeling of independence.
Now, ironically, if they come back, a lot of times if you stay quiet and you're not overwhelming them, they will tell you all these things.
Right.
But not at that time.
Right. They want to have their own independent experiences. And it's something similar that you see when you see a parent, right? A parent who's the secure base and you see those kids explore on the playground or whatever it might be. And they want to have those experiences on their own. If you ever see a kid and you're trying to micromanage their playtime.
Like a toddler?
Yeah, they get irritable. No, I want to do it this way. No, I want to do it my way, right? But if you notice, you let them free, you let them have those experiences, whatever they might be, and they come back excited. Mom, I don't know, I went down the slide today. So
yeah.
There can be this this feeling of wanting to have your own unique experience, but being able to share it through your own lens with someone when the time is right, if and when they want to. So their own experiences they want to have to themselves.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that I constantly tell you guys is that feelings change like the clouds that move across the sky. That is absolutely true. And if you really take a moment to think about your other relationships, because it might give you more clarity to think about previous breakups you had or other situations, you'll realize, there were times where, I thought about breaking up with them, or maybe somebody broke up with you in the past and then you went back months later because you missed them. So feelings change. And so the way your ex sees the problems or the conflicts now could be different in several months, especially when you're not reaching out or, making excuses to contact them or manipulate them. So just understand that through time and reflection, your ex can see, oh, maybe I made a big deal about this thing and it really wasn't that big of a deal. Maybe I was being sensitive about it and I should have been more understanding. And emotions calm down, emotions cool off. And through really thinking about things and perspective, we can take a step back and think, you know what? I do miss them. I do wonder if we can fix this. But your ex doesn't want you to know this because they know you're not going to authentically live your life. You're going to be holding on. You're going to be, quote unquote, waiting for them. And that just feels like pressure where they can't be who they want to be in that moment.
Right. And it does take a level of humbleness to be able to say, hey, listen, I was wrong. Or maybe I'm viewing this whole conflict differently or this whole situation differently. And in the context of a breakup, them saying that, them admitting that to you and letting you know that might mean that you then apply more pressure to them. Well, see, you yourself even said that it wasn't a big deal. See, you yourself said that you might have overreacted or you would have wished you reacted differently. So they're probably being tactful in what they share with you versus what they don't share with you. But there can be a lot of things internally happening.
Absolutely. It often takes time to get there, though. Those things don't usually happen right away. People need time to cool off and reflect and calm down. So hopefully this one's been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.